Oh, you've all beat me tonight. I thought I had my countdown. I thought I had longer than I had. So hello, everybody. Good evening. How are we all? Let me just put my bits away. Oh, I can't get that away. It's been annoying me. I can't get my stencil deck back in my stencil deck pack. Right. Let me just do this before I start losing my temper with it. So how is everybody tonight? We've got a busy night tonight. So we've got, well, right. So I would say right this minute, if you need to go and get a drink, if you need to have a wee, go do it now, because we're demoing pretty much everything in the new launch. Everything. Tonight is a demo night. I will say hellos. As always, I will say hellos. Oh, look at me. I've even tucked my top in. I've got my... Look at this. I've got my tape on my top. I've not tucked my trousers in. And I'll tell you for what. I'm going to tell you all. I'll tell you all in a minute. I'm going to just let it hang out a bit loose tonight, shall we? Oh man, it's been a day. It's been a day today. So first things first, I haven't put the QR code on the front. I've got to do that. And if somebody could share from my page into the group, that would be fantastic. I just need to grab the QR code for tonight. I was organised. I promise I am organised. I promise. Sort of. Anyway, so let's copy that and make sure... Let's take my name off there as well, and make sure that you can see the Friday Night Live category. Hide that. Let's edit that and make sure we've got the right text in there. Okay, save that one. So now, if I put that on there, oh, my face looks quite red tonight. Do I look really red? I've been in the garden today. I think that's right. So let's go QR code, Friday Night Live. There we are. We're all sorted now. Let's get back to the chat. I may be wrong, but I love your shirt. Thank you very much. So the shirt happened because, right, look, see what I mean? We're in a, bear with me. You're going to go all muffly for a minute, but let me do this. Because it's not sitting right. If I get a bit muffly, just tell me. So I had a really pretty top on tonight, and it was quite a baggy top, but it's very, very pretty. And I've had it for a while, but I thought I'm going to wear that tonight. It's summery. Anyway, I came in here, and even though it fits me and it's quite baggy, it was gaping in the middle, and I was like, I can't do that. So I had to go running back in the house, change, come back out again, and I was thinking, oh no, I've got loads of time. Then I realised it was 23 minutes past. So look at me, not looking the most glamorous. Oh, look, it's still not right. Hang on. That's better. I should be much better now. Anyway, evening, everybody. How are we? And I actually match my backdrop now, or clash with it. Who knows? QR code up the top. First things first. QR code up the top. If you want to shop tonight's show, I would highly recommend you do it very, very soon. Before I came to, no, I was talking to Adam. It was probably about 3:30, 4. And between 50 and 60% of the stock had gone on almost everything. The most vulnerable, I can tell you, were the stamps and the dies. Just be aware of that. Over half the stock have gone of both of those items. So just be aware. For our friends in the USA, they are already at scrapbook.com. They are on their way. We got an email this afternoon from Simon Says saying we would like to take the Floral Wishes collection. So they are being shipped out from the UK actually tomorrow or Monday. And they are going to Simon Says. So Simon Says will have them. So as soon as you see them coming soon or whatever, or speak to Simon Says and say, hey, I hear they're coming. Can I reserve one? I don't know if you're allowed to, but it might give them a bit of a heads up to know how many they're going to need to reorder potentially, because I think they might have to, because it's very, very cool. So Simon Says we'll have them. Scrapbook.com will have them. Notions have obviously got them. So they are going to be going out to retailers very, very soon. So you should be able to get them across the pond and around the rest of the world. Here tonight, what we've got is what we've got. When they have gone, they've gone. So we're talking about the studio collection. And we'll get into that in a moment, but I'll say hello to everybody first. I've even got a cup of tea here, which is probably cold now. So good evening, Joe Payton. Good evening, Jane Hall and Sally Ann Merriott, Crafting Diva, Emma Thrower, Joe Jasper, Lisa Armitage, Suzette, good evening, Elizabeth Comar from Utah, welcome. Beverly Holden, Suzette thought she'd missed it today. Lorraine Gower, Fedugina, Jean Rowland, Melanie Acinda Smith, Nicola Atfield from Worthing. We've got Nancy Johnson from Northeast Ohio, the Northeast Ohio. Cheryl Toots, Valerie Cartwright, Sarah Jane Kennedy, Nan Campbell. Goodness me, there's loads of you on tonight. Right, okay. Now, it's already 181 people on, and 14 of you have already scanned the QR code. Okay, so let me just do one more thing. I'm going to go onto Facebook and I'm going to check that it's going live on Facebook, because it didn't last week, did it? Let's just make sure all is good, and then we're going to dive straight into it tonight, because we have got a lot to get through. 27 comments and 3 shares already on Facebook, which is great. So I'm going to share more options. Let's go share to a group, and let's go Crafting with Lisa Horton, and let's just post that. Blimey, there's 56 of you on Facebook already. Okay, I think it's going to be a busy night tonight. Check YouTube. I just want to make sure all's good everywhere, because I'm a little bit late. Normally I've checked all this. Where are we? Yeah, 120 on there. That's fine. That's fine. Good to go. Right. Primrose Gibson's here. Christine Dyer is here. Kathy Grimes. Michelle Chadwick. Julia Whedon. Jan Holzman. Kieran Franklin down the road. And they've been glorious, Kieran. Stephen Dyer. Sheila Lewis. There's loads of you. I'm going to miss tons. I wonder if Lisa will have a new hairdo every Friday. Jason, no, I won't. I don't know what's going on. I've got a lot of hair. I've been to dry. I'm going to be honest with you. I've been taking this stuff called Hair and Me, that I used to take Skin and Me for my skin, and they do Hair and Me as well. And I've been using that. It's made my hair go all floofy and like I've got more hair. It's meant to do that. It's meant to like stimulate hair growth. Who knows? But I feel like it is actually doing it, kind of thing. It looks shiny and it looks healthy. And I haven't even had it coloured yet. I'll get it coloured next week. But I feel like still a bit fringy. Anyway, right. So you've got your cups ready. You're all good to go. QQQ, what size is the trellis dies? We will do that. Carol Bye, will they be restocked? Right, that is the question. Now, let me have a drink, and we'll get straight into this. So there is a bit of housekeeping to do, not a lot, but I will talk about the studio collection first. Now, this is the first in the studio collection line. Obviously, it's me, it's Lisa Horton, it's Lisa Horton Craft. Studio collection are going to be, I want to say, things possibly out of the norm, a bit like Muse and Maker. Something a little bit different. Now, you know, if you go to Lisa Horton Crafts, it's going to be embossing folders, layering stencils, dies, and your green packaging, and you know exactly what you're getting. And if you like that, that's never, ever, ever going to change. However, we started to do almost like not little branches of the business, but little areas where we can go, do you know what, let's give this a try and see if you like it. So for example, this collection has got stamps in it as well. It's got an embossing folder, but the embossing folder isn't an overlay to the stamps or the dies. We wanted to be a bit different to everybody else. We wanted to give you the complementary folder, but we wanted to give it to you not as you would expect in the Lisa Horton Craft style, something a bit different. Then we'll go into all of that. But we're starting kind of with like smaller releases. So in this release, there's only 5 SKUs, or 5 items. But if it's popular, we're obviously going to increase it. Now, we've already got a release 2. We've got one called Paper Wishes. Is it Paper Posies? There's another one coming, and there's 2 more after that. So we've got 4 studio launches in total at the moment. If it's as successful as it currently is, we will continue to do more of these. Nothing else will change with everything else that we do. But this just gives you something a little bit different. So if you like this style, always look out for the Studio collection. Or if you like the trio of embossing folders, stencils and dies, just look at Lee's Horton Crafts. Of course, Muse and Maker if you like a bit of mixed media. So that's kind of where it all stems from. Will they be restocked? If they're popular, yes. Linda Longfellow, thank you. It does look healthy, doesn't it? I think it is this stuff I'm using. I do, but it's kind of bouncy and I don't know. But I haven't got a lot of hair really, so it's very interesting. But it's growing as well, which is really, really good. It looks shiny. Thank you, Fedugina. Stamps are your favourite. Exactly that. So there's lots and lots of different things that we're going to be doing. Now, it's kind of like Rebecca's just said, it's boutique designs within a brand. So let's dive straight into it. And let's, first of all, tell you what we're going to get. And then I will go through the samples. And then we're going to dive straight into demo. But please, I am being honest with you when I say we do not have hundreds of these. And we're not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you and say I've got 600 of these and there's 35 of you've got it, you check back to check out. I'm not going to say that because it's not true. But what I am going to say to you, there are low stocks on these items because it is a test. Half the stock, if not more, has already gone. If you want it, please get it. If it sells out, we will look at restocking. Okay, so just don't panic just yet. I don't want you to panic buy. I want you to see it all and then make your choice. So let's flick you to the overhead. Now, I've come in quite close on the overhead. Perfect Posies are lovely as well. Am I using Olaplex? No, I'm using Hair and Me. Oh, sorry. My shampoo is by Josh Wood. I've seen it on Facebook as well. It does colour for roots and all sorts of things. But I use Josh Wood shampoo and conditioner, and I use I've been told not to use Olaplex because it made my hair go purple. And I use the Hair and Me. They're actually tablets, but there you go. They're good. They seem to be working anyway, don't they? Anyway, so it's all very, very cool. Let's start right kind of at the basics, not the basics, but at the beginning. So first of all, we have our 3D embossing folder. Now, this is a 5x7 folder. Now, the team haven't had this. This actually, 2 boxes got lost when the order was shipped to us. And in the 2 boxes, typically with all of the embossing folders. Okay, so 240 embossing folders went disappearing. We didn't know where they went. So all I can say to you now is you won't see many samples of this, but what you will see is me running it through and giving you an idea of what it looks like. Now, the flower, you're going to go, oh, right, well, that's going to work with the stamp because it's the same. It is not going to work with the stamp. It is a little bit bigger than the stamp. So this is going to kind of sit in the background. And it's also for those people who may just want to get the embossing folder and may want to cut this out if they want to. It still is a beautiful size. So it is a complementary, but it doesn't actually overlay the stamp and the stencil. It's done intentionally. It's not an error. It's what we wanted, but you get that lovely focal point in the middle, all right? That's the first thing. So we'll put that to one side. Okay, leave that there. Right. Second thing is your stamps. This kind of is the foundation for everything. So if you're on the fence, I would highly recommend the stamps. So these are photopolymer stamps, very, very lovely. And they are an A5 set. You get a lot. So you get your huge, huge focal point here. You get all of your accessories. You get the big flower. Now this flower will sit on this flower. So this becomes like a decoupage flower. And you'll see when we go into the dies and everything else, you'll see how it all kind of comes together. You've got this flower, which is obviously going to sit here. You've got your leaves and your kind of your buds, which are going to sit there. And all of these elements around the edge, which are going to fit perfectly if you want to build kind of your own bouquet. And of course, you get your sentiments just for you, with love. Thank you. With love to you. Just a little note, and with love, different there. So that's your stamps, all right? It's beautiful. And Joe Jesper, all ordered. I couldn't stop myself. I promise you, when you see the samples, you will absolutely love them. And hello, Mary Lynn Butler. Lovely to see you here. So that's your stamp set. Now, the next set is your stencils. Your stencils are beautiful. They've got your peg system on them as always, but they do not have dies with them. Be aware they do not have dies. However, you might not want dies. You might want stencils and stamps. So you might want to do your stamping, emboss it, and then stencil. You might want to use your stencils and then you might want to highlight, I don't know, the center flower with a bit of gold embossing powder around the edge. So many opportunities by splitting things down the way we've done here. So that is your stencils. Obviously, I'm going to show you all of this. Okay, it is beautiful. I promise you you're going to love it. And it's great value for money as well. The next one is this. Don't get confused between the dies and the stencils. This looks like it's a small set. It is not a small set. And I'll open it again when we get into demo and I will show you how large, how beautiful, and the options you've got. So you still get your, when you turn this over, you'll see on the stamp, you've got your large outline. You'll get your large outline. You will get your large outline. You'll also get your flowers, the outline for your flowers, your smaller flowers, for your, and you get your little your buds, and then you also get a sentiment in this one. You get a die sentiment with this birthday wishes, and you get the matte and layer as well, and your little heart. So this is a really, really lovely set if you just want the dies. Now be aware, this is going to cut outside edges. So when we look at this flower here, you can see there's no cut line. The cut line is around the edge. The cut line is around the edge of all of these. So remember that if you're just purchasing the dies, all right? I would strongly recommend either these together or all three together, or I mean, but it's entirely up to you. But remember, it doesn't cut the embossing folder out. It does not cut that out. Just be warned. So that is that. So let's pop these back here now. So let's keep those like that so you can see everything. I'll pop this here. And last but not least, to complete it, we have the trellis as well. So this one is stunning. It's got 3 dies. It's literally beautiful. So what you get here is the outside with that almost a parentheses kind of look. You get the second die, which gives you a matte and layer, and it also gives you the outside cutting edge for the element in the middle, which could cut into the card or cut out of the card. So you've got options for both. Okay, honestly, I think you're going to adore them. And I will say to you, I think the live might go on a little bit longer tonight. I think it probably will hit close to the 8 o'clock mark because I do want to get everything in for you. I do want you to see it all, and I want you to be able to make proper judgments because it is the first launch of the studio collection. I think you're going to adore it. I think you're going to be able to do a lot with it, but I honestly want to make sure that you get the best possible, almost like vision for what you're going to be able to create. Okay, so let's come back in and show you the samples. Now I've got a ton of samples here. I haven't got all the team samples simply because some are up at Peterborough, but that is because when we do shows at Peterborough we need to have samples up there as well. But what I'm going to do is go through everything we've got here. I would try to name check everybody. I would do my total best to do that. If I don't, I apologize, but I will do my best. Now, let's start here. So I'm starting with Lorraine. Now, that, right, if we go to the stencil, all that has been created with the one stencil and the birthday wishes from the die set. So look at that. There's no stamping on there. There's nothing else. There's no die cutting on there. That's literally the stencils just being pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. I'm going to zoom you in just a touch so we can get right close in so you can have a really good look at these. Okay, they're just a delight. That's just the first one. Okay, now let me show you another one. This one is by Donna, and this one, look at this. Oh my days. So this, right, this is the stamp and the stencil, just the stamp and the stencil, no embossing, no nothing. There's a little bit of metallic ink on there, but there's no embossing on that. Literally, oh my days. Can you see what I mean? about how beautiful they are. I can't tell you. I'm genuinely just so happy with these, so happy. And then we've got Tina. Now Tina has actually die cut hers. She's not stamped, she's stenciled and she's die cut, and she's used the die from the die set in the middle. Can you see just how different you can make these actually just using the same products? I mean, let me know in the comments, please, if you like these and if you want me to continue with the studio collection, because I genuinely think there is so many opportunities. I really do. Now, the next one is again by Donna. And look at that. So just using the stencil for the little flower and then cutting them out because you've got the die to do it. Just use really, really simply, and you've got the sentiment there. And a little bit of stencil deck in the background, as you can see. Isn't it just amazing? Isn't it amazing? Please make sure you share the show as well for me, if you can, for in your own crafty groups, just so we can get everybody seeing how wonderful these are. Now, the next one is by Jo Payton, one of our new DT members. So look at that. Now this has got the stamp and this has got the stencil on it. Okay, so again, you can see in the background, there's no embossing or anything, stamp and stencil. Just, I mean, come on, don't they look great? Don't they look absolutely great? And how different does each one look? Move that out of the way, with the same product for everything here. Just, yes, more studio collections. Awesome. Thank you. QQ. Let me just, I'll try and talk to you face to face. QQ, would the stenciled flower fit into the embossing folder? But obviously you would have to, sorry, loads of chat. I'll have to keep moving. Obviously you would have the extra photos. Yeah, so basically the stamp is smaller than the embossing folder, okay? So you'll have a bigger emboss. Does that make sense? So the embossing flower will be bigger and your stamp will be more on the inside of that. They're all beautiful. Well done, DT. Would it be the different designs or just florals? At the moment, it's a mixture. The next one is florals, but the ones after are not florals, actually. Beverly Holden, well done, DT. Thank you, thank you. It is Tea Wishes, yeah. Honestly, Trisha, there's so many different names here. I don't think I've forgotten you. Hi, Lisa, says Hermione. Love your collection. Thanks, Trisha. DT, I love the collection so much. And hello, Margaret Dixon. Thank you very much. Right, so let's turn you back. So much to get through, so much to get through. So look at this. This is Jo again, I think. So Jo here, let's go back a bit, has stamped. Can you see that? She's stamped and die cut and stenciled, actually. So cool. And then stamped and die cut, stamped and die cut. So you just make it as complicated or as easy as you wish. Gorgeous. Hello from Winnipeg. Welcome. Welcome, Michelle. Lovely to have you here. And this one, this is Mary Thompson. So look at that. Now, this is where the dies come into their own. So in the background, stunning, stunning, stunning. But this die, can you see how it cuts all that detail out for you? And you can still do your stenciling underneath, and you can still also have the matte and layer around the edge. So you've got the detail, the matte and layer, and then you can do all your separate elements. Beautiful. Honestly. Hi, Lisa. Loving the studio collection. More, please. Have you any samples with the embossing folder? No, but I will be doing one. I will be doing one. Could not resist, bought it all earlier. Got a notification it's on its way. Yeah, Lily and Danny have been working hard this afternoon. I think they can probably pack between them a couple of hundred a day. So you might have a little bit of a wait, not too long, but honestly, two people genuinely getting that many out is going to be a mean feat. but they are working hard behind the scenes. So look at that. So you've got that gorgeous background as well. Crafting Diva, oh dear, I need. And this, I love this. I love this by Mary. So what Mary's done here, she has done some embossing, using embossing powder in black, and then use the stencil to colour it in, and then use the die to cut it out, and then used the trellis in the background. I love this. Isn't this just classy? Super classy. I really, really like that. So, I mean, come on, and this is bare. I've still got loads more to show you. Smaller cards. Tina, look at that. Just a flower. And she's actually decoupaged it because you can, because you've got the dies, and because you've got the stencils to do your inking, and then just layer it up with that gorgeous frame in the background. Sentiment. How gorgeous. Just how gorgeous. And look at these stamps and cut out. Beautiful. Just beautiful. I mean, gosh, there's so many. There's so many. This one, I love this one, Valerie. Val. I love that. And I love what she's done here. She's almost like built a collection here, built like a trailing kind of curved arch. You could make it a wreath almost, couldn't you? So Val's just taken elements and used them and stenciled them and cut them out and kind of layered them up. Very, very clever. And she's used that trellis frame in the background, but she's done it on one of the fundamental dies, which is so cool. Honestly, this, for goodness sakes, you do this every time I look at the products and pick 2 items I want, and you've shown the samples and I lose it, and I went back and placed an order for the rest. I'm sorry, Jane Harl. But can you see how they all work together amazingly? They really, really do. And Lorraine, colour palette, exquisite. And of course, it's those same dies that Val's used here. Look at those. How cool. And gentle colours, soft, muted tones. Very, very pretty. Outstandingly gorgeous. Again, stamped in brown this time rather than black, and then using your stencils. So you can stencil first and then stamp, and then stamp, and then stencil. Me personally, I think I would stamp and then stencil personally, but it's entirely up to you. Let's see where it takes us. Let's see where it takes us. Then here we've got another one from Donna. Again, stunning, stunning, stunning. Stamped and stenciled and die cut. Look, so you can see the die. That's the outline die. That's not the die that cuts all the detail like Mary used, but amazing. Absolutely amazing. To keep going, goodness me. Right, I might have to speed it up a bit. Val, another cool one. Just using elements again. I'm going to just chuck this inspiration at you. I really am. And then we've got another one from Val. Adore this. Seen this on socials a lot. Look at that. That trellis. Just delicious. Just delicious. Very, very easy to do. The samples are gorgeous. Thank you so much, everybody. If anyone ordered before 2 p.m. today, then Lily's probably packed your order. Be ready to go on Monday. Yeah, they were really busy. This afternoon they were counting inks. They've been doing a bit of a stock take, and then because we're trying to get into the hobbycraft stores very, very soon, it's all now just counting stock and getting ready for it. So look at that, a very cool as well. Just look at that decoupage again, and that's Valerie or Val. I always call you Valerie, don't I? And then we've got this one, Lorraine. I think this is, yeah, I thought it was. Look at that, just using the dies. Inky background, cut them out, pop the center of the dies in, and then using your stamps and cutting them out. Very clever. And a bit Muse and Maker in the background, I think I can see there. Lorraine, I'm sure. Reminds me of a dog rose. It does actually, doesn't it? And let's have a look what else we've got. This is a bit different as well from Mary. Again, elements, just elements. Stamping and cutting out. Very lovely. This one's been embossed, and I love this in the white. That's by Mary again. And then you can see if I kind of flick that, you see that white embossing. So basically, Mary has created a background, okay? She's got loads of different colours of inks and she's made a background. And then she's done her stamping over the inky, watery background. And then she's done her heat embossing in white, and then she's cut it out. And she's done a drop shadow with that outside edge again. And that big birthday wishes, isn't it gorgeous? Hello, my scrapbook loft Judy. That's your name on, I've got that right, haven't I? My scrapbook loft Judy. Yes, that's right. I thought I got that wrong there for a minute. But as I say, they are coming to the US. They're coming to wherever your retailer, you know, what country you're in. If they shop with Oceans, you can get your hands on them. They're also at scrapbook.com. They're also going on Monday over to Simon Says Stamp. Where else? Anywhere you want to get them, really, I think. And then look at this. Look at that. That's got the heat embossing on it. See that? The light's catching that now. Beautiful, Tina. Beautiful. Just love it all. Just love it all. I've got this desk is piled up now, isn't it? And then keeping it monotone. Val's great at the monotones. Look at that. Stencil deck as well in the background. Very lovely. Very lovely. I mean, look at my desk. And this is without some of the team who've actually sent them up to Peterborough. Look at that again. Just the flowers. Just the flowers. Eek, Kate Willie. I don't know which one to get. Carol Bye. Okay, so I've caved in and my order is in. Honestly, I promise you, you will not be disappointed. And I reckon I'm going to see these everywhere on social media. I think you're all going to have such good fun. I'm going to shift these back a bit because the desk is looking a bit like busy. And then look at this again. Look at the birthday verses that we've got. Fundamentals, a bit of inky background, some of the butterflies which are coming in the next Muse and Maker launch, which will be on the 3rd of April. I should know this because Adam told me this afternoon, as did Hannah, and already I haven't slept since then, but I've done work since then. So and then look, keeping it as simple as you can. Look at that. Gold embossing. See, what you can do is emboss that. If you wanted to go back in now and highlight that flower, you could easily do that. Easily do that. So cool. And then this one I adore. Donna, cracking sample. Look at that, the pebbles in the background. And Donna has used elements and she's cut away some that she didn't want. So she's cut away that big, where is it? This one. She's cut this one away. See that? She hasn't used that one. So she's used a solid element and then she's popped her decoupage bits on the top. Isn't that cool? Did you say they will be going to Hobbycraft stores? Not these at the moment. Not these. Other things, yes, but not these at the moment. We don't have enough stock to put them into Hobbycraft stores at the moment. Although Adam's been filling out a ton of forms for them today as well. And all the reports have been agreed. So everything is looking really, really good. Look at this. So this is that die again, what I keep telling you about this die. It is very, very clever. Very clever indeed. So it gives you kind of a look like you've almost embossed it. Do you know what I mean? So it gives you that thick line around your stamping. Or if your stenciling's gone off a little bit, it doesn't matter because you can cover it up. Absolutely cover it up. And then you've got the trellis in the background. Well, it's not the real trellis. It's actually stencil deck trellis. But look at that. And that is done by Lorraine. So that is currently the samples I've got here. Like if I do that, I mean, Hannah would love a shot of this. I know she would. Hannah, take a shot of that now. Actually, let me do it while I've got my phone, because that just honestly is going to be, I'm going to do this. So there's something for Hannah will love this. Look at that. And then that will sit on social media. Oh, there we are. So that's great. So it's all good for you to see. So inspiration, inspiration, inspiration. Now, 7 o'clock already, 7:05. Let's get straight into the demo. Now you've seen what you can get. Let's show you how to use it, shall we? Pop all the samples away. Who knows, I'll take inspiration from one. I don't know where it'll take us. I'm not prepped this. I've used the product obviously because you've seen some of the reels I've done, but I've not prepped tonight. I'm going to go straight in blind and we're just going to go for it. I love doing it like that because my creativity will kind of go where it wants to. So all of these are going to be popped away, and I will get some up on the shelf. So when we come back next week, next week, I need to talk about next week as well. I'm not live next week. I'll be doing a pre-record. I will probably use Studio again for you, so you've got something more to watch. Lily and I are in London. We're going to see, my back's bad again. I've got to go see my chiropractor again. We're in London seeing the Hunger Games. So we won't get back in time for the live. But yeah, it's going to be great. But it's a Friday, unfortunately, and I can't do a lot about that. Anyway, so I think there was a comment I needed to read. No, I don't think so. I'll keep going. So let's start with the stencils and the dies, and we'll get everything out. Actually, I'll pop that over there, and we'll come back into camera 4 again. My tea's got cold. I'm not happy about that. Do you sell to Clipper Street? We do sell to Clipper Street. They can shop via Notion, Stella. Have a word with them to see if they want to stock them. But Clipper Street know us very well, for sure. Is that Deanna and Courtney? I'm sure it is, isn't it? Yeah, they definitely. They've worked with us for years, so hopefully they'll be able to bring that in. Move this to one side. Okay, so let's start by opening the dies. Now, brand new set. Be careful. Lot of dies. One side, other side. And then let's open let's show you the stamps. So when I take this die off, this outside edge, let me show you. Take that off, you'll see that this is going to sit perfectly over that stamp. Okay, so if you want to stamp and just cut out, you can do that. There is no question that that's going to be absolutely glorious when that's cut out and stamped. All right, however, if you want to push the boundaries a little further, let's just take this one off. What you can do is, I mean, I personally wouldn't do this. You could, if you wanted to, cut it out, but you're going to lose your lines. You're going to lose all your lines. But it comes in great when you're using it with the stencil, and that's what we'll get into in a minute. But you can use both of them together if you want to. So you could have an inky background on this one, and then cut and then pop it over the top, like Mary did it in white. But I'll show you that as well. And of course, as you can see here, you get the little hearts, you get your separate elements, you get all your stems, you get your big flower, which is this big flower. Turn it over again. Which is this big flower, fits there. And then you've got the second size down, which actually fits into the second part of the flower. Very clever. And you've got your sentiments there, as you can see. So that's your dies. No, we haven't done, because everyone gets, well, most people are club members. You tend to get a discount that way. So we've done everything individual for people who aren't club members, so they can pick and choose what they want. But there is no bundle for this. It's all individuals. Pam McCarran. Hi, Lise. Happy to find you today. Is this a regular thing? Yes, it is, Pam. Every single Friday. Pam McCarran's on Facebook. Every Friday, 6:30. Next Friday, let me come back a second. Next Friday, Pam, I'm actually not here. I was just saying I'm going to see the Hunger Games. But every Friday, whether I'm here actually live or not, there will always be a live at 6:30 Friday night. It's Friday Night Live. I'm always here normally, just next Friday I won't be. But we do all the new launches. We talk about what's coming to Scrapbook and Simon Says and Notions and stores here in the UK and our website. So you can see a lot of information. And we always try and get a good demo in as well, so you can get a little bit of inspiration for what you can do if you choose to purchase. So hopefully we'll be seeing you here again. Okay, so let's bring out these stencils and let me show you the stencils. I'm going to do a few different things. Okay, so let's kind of make it a little bit different. The two dies would make it easy to piece together. The detailed die would be good for paper piecing. It would be, yeah. Just the opportunities that are phenomenal. And of course, let's open this one before we get cracking and show you this one as well. Big dies. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. It fits on 2, I'm sure. So it's worked for your A2. Let's have a look. Just, yeah. So that's going to fit on your US size card as well as your UK card. And that would make a great card base, wouldn't it? Absolutely beautiful. So that's the, I want to say, your kind of your foundation for everything. Okay. Let's have a look at what we're going to do. We're finding Jane Kennedy not seeing the products that have been on TV in their store. No, there will be, Amanda, right? There will be. I'm literally, Adam and I are working really, really hard in the background. When you're working with these huge companies, honestly, I can't begin to tell you the amount of stuff that goes on in the background. It's crazy. Right, I'm just trying to find my stamping platform. Hang on a minute. Let's get it out. So I've got my really old Ultimate here, but I don't think I've got any magnets. Where's my magnets? Have I got another stamping platform here? Yes, I have. I've got this one. Okay, I've got that one. I just need to find my mat that sits underneath it. I probably put it somewhere safe. Of course I have. Where'd I put it? Bear with me, guys. Just talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I've got to find my rubber mat that sits underneath. Hang on. I'll have to open a new one. I have got a new one here. You can hear me jabbering away to myself. I really need to get in this room and tidy up. So I'm just going to grab a new one of these. Excuse me. Let's get this out. Oh, Lisa. Come on. Come on, woman. What am I doing? What am I doing? There we go. There we go. What I'm looking for is this piece of foam. I don't need the actual tool because I've already got one out. So I'm going to pop that one back down the side. And I need this foam because I want it to sit underneath my Ultimate, because that's going to give me stability, especially now we're going to be using a large stamp. Okay. So Linda Longfellow, absolutely. They should currently, I think they're already at scrapbook.com. I'm almost certain they are. The Notions have them as well, ready to order for stores. Simon Says I've placed an order today for them. So if you shop with Simon Says, keep an eye out, because we're shipping them from the UK tomorrow, Monday, to be fair. Just bring a piece of card in. We're going to be shipping them out to Simon Says on Monday. So they are literally everywhere, Linda. We're really trying to get the US product quickly now, as much as we can. Okay, so look here. I'm going to turn my Ultimate sideways, right? And I'm going to bring in my stamping tool, right? So we've got lots to get through, and I'm going to try and go through everything in detail. Let's open the stamps, if I put them somewhere, and I will promise you I will emboss that embossing folder as well, because it's phenomenal. So let's open this up and let's bring out that beast of a stamp. I would strongly recommend, if you're using this, you use the stamping platform, simply because it is a big old stamp, and we all know, you know, you can end up pressing not quite perfectly, because I love the smell of photopolymer stamps. Always have done. They smell, and they're a little bit sticky, not too sticky. Our manufacturer is really, really good. So here's your stamp, big boy. And we're going to pop that here. Okay, like so. Now you can do many things. What you could do, if you really wanted to, is take your stencil and you could kind of try and line it up so you don't have to move your artwork. But I'm not going to worry too much about that. I am just going to get this stamped and done, and then we'll figure it all out after. And I tend to put it in the middle, away from the pegs, because obviously the pegs give you a little bit of resistance. And now I'm going to, Lisa, what are you doing? Turn it over, grab your stamp. There we are. And now we're going to pop some ink on there. Now, because I'm going to be doing some heat embossing, I think, do I want to go with clear powder? Or do I want to go, right, no, we're going to go with our Wow embossing ink, all right? And we're going to ink this up. Now, again, because it's a new stamp, if this doesn't work first time, we will redo it. And what I'm saying is if I don't get all the embossing in the right place, and simply I'm trying to pat, and my luck, because my lights as well, you should see me now. Look at this how I'm doing this, right? That's what I'm doing. Because my lights are so bright in here, I'm trying to make sure I cover every area. Honestly, nightmare. But just stick with me. Stick with me. Right, so this is your sticky embossing powder. Now, Lisa, before you do that, you do what you tell everyone else to do, and you anti-static your mat. We're going to do that now. Right. And now we take our stamp and we stamp down. I think I've covered it all. I don't know, but we're soon going to find out. I'm going to press down everywhere. Now let me get my powders ready. I wanted a gold powder, didn't I? Where's my radiant gold? Radiant gold. Now that's rose gold. Hang on a minute, guys. So our beautiful Wow powders, what we're going to use, and we're going to emboss this. Okay. I'm praying I've got it all, because it is a big old stamp and it's the first use. I don't know that I've got that. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again because I'm not sure. And if I'm not sure, what I'll do is I'll put a lighter ink on the top of it. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know, a yellow or something, which allows me to see, and then I'll put the gold on top anyway, so it doesn't really matter what colour this ink is. So if I find I'm struggling, that's what I'll do. I just can't see properly, that's all. I think I'm going to get the yellow out just in case. Just in case. Stamp that. I think it's done. I'm almost certain it is, but you know when you're just not sure, we'll go really lightly over the top, because my blending inks will stamp anyway, emboss anyway. We'll just do that just to make sure, I know I'm being overcautious. I know I am. Let me just pop that down. Why is that not fitting in there? There we are. Pop that in there like so. There we go. Nothing like being careful. Yeah, I think I missed the tiniest bit, but let's get our powder on. Oh, look at that. Look where I've been really bad. I've got a bit of white in there. Let me tweezer that off, because that's going to be not good, is it? Can you see that? That's going to end up back in my pot. Can't get it. See if I've got a little stencil there. See if I can pick it out that way. There we are. Don't want that in your pot, do you? So we'll do this and we'll lift that off and we'll get all our powder. Yeah, that's great. Let's get another bit of card. Another piece of, here we go. Another piece of card. So we'll do this. Get this like so. Let me move this out the way because it's going to get sticky. And there we are. See that beautiful, beautiful result. Now I'm going to put the powder back, and I've got a little tiny bit I need to remove from the image. I must have missed a bit of anti-static in somewhere. Okay. You're all talking amongst yourselves. I can't pick up comments at the minute. Very happy, Lorraine said, with her verdigris. That's great. So I'm going to just take my little brush, because I don't want to take too much away. Oh, I've got a little bit over here. Now that's going to annoy me. I've missed anti-static in just around this area. We'll have to live with that. We'll have to live with it. So let's bring in our heat tool and we will heat this. So remember what I told you. Warm your tool first. And then when it's hot, we'll then come straight in with the powder, onto the powder. And it will move quickly. There it goes. That's the bit that's annoyed me, just by the small flower. Can you see it turning yet? There we go, all the way along. Down here. I just love this. All over the flower. And now you've got this beautiful heat embossed gold floral element. Now what I say is, if you've got any heat resistant vellum, that will look so good. So good. And then turn it over, heat the back, and then that will get it a little bit straighter for us. There we are. That makes me a bit happier. Okay, sorry about the noise there, guys, but we had to do that. So there we are. There's our heat embossed flower already. You can see I wasn't very careful with the static bag. A little bit in here and a little bit there. And that's going to resist when we do our stenciling. But that's okay. I haven't got a problem with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the stamp back. I'm going to try and keep this very, very organised. Pop that back onto its carrier sheet. I would normally clean it, but for tonight, I'm sure you'll appreciate, I just want to get demoing. Oh, I missed a bit. Hang on. I thought I did. I thought I missed a bit there. Sorry, I'm just going to... There we go. The light caught that and I would have knocked all the powder off there. There was just a tiny bit here that I missed. I think I was concentrating so much on that silly extra bit of anti-static that I missed in that part. So now get rid of all of your bits and let's get into the crux of this now. So now you've stamped and embossed and we're going to take our trimmer and I'm going to trim this down a bit. Okay, move that just out of the way just for a second. And I'm going to trim a bit off here. And I'm going to trim down this side as well. So we haven't got like a huge piece we're working with. Big enough, but it's not huge now, taking up all my space. So move our bits out of the way, bring this back in. And what I highly recommend now is you take your silicone mat. Now my silicone mat, oh, I think it's got a lot of powder on it. Let me see if I've got another one under here. I've got everything everywhere, haven't I? Let's see what we got. Oh, no, I haven't. Let's give this one a little wipe. So we're going to take our tacky mat off for now. Or do we want to leave the tacky mat on? Let's see. Hang on a minute. Let's see if that's going to be... Actually, let's leave that for now. We're a little bit raised in that the heat on the embossing folder, on the embossing has made it a little bit wrinkly. So what you can do now is you can now take your artwork and you can line it up. So I can see straight away, there is no way that lines up there, is there? None at all. So all you do is you take your artwork, lift it up, and you line up on here where you need to be. Now, of course, what I've done is not as straight as the artwork. So I now need to work out what fits where, if it does fit at all. So have I got that right? Yeah, there we go. There we go. So that is roughly where I want it. So you can do it this way, or you can stamp after and you can do yours however you want. Now I can see straight away my pegs aren't going to fit. Can you see that? So what I'll do is I'll get a bit of tape, move that out of the way for a second, and I'm just going to tape that down because I've got it in right position, but that's not going to fit on. We're die cutting this anyway, so it doesn't matter. So we go underneath, get me scissors, grab your scissors, and we go underneath here. Make sure I don't cut anything that is part of the artwork. And let's see about fitting that back on there now. Yeah, I need to trim that a little bit as well. Let's take a little bit more off. Actually, I might just have to redo that. I was hoping I was going to get away with a bit more, but I'm not. And let's do that like that. So when I cut it, I thought I was going to have a better lining up than I did. There we are. So let's get that back into position where we need to be. And once it's down, it's fine. It's down. Oh, Lisa, move it down. And now it's too big at the bottom, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're going to move that, cut that piece off. We don't need any of it. So cut yours down more than I've cut mine down. So you can see mine is kind of lined up. Okay. Now what I'd highly recommend is if you are heat embossing, try and do what I do and keep it so your ink is, or your heat tool is only being used when the tool is hot. Because if you don't, you're going to end up with like I had, like wrinkly paper. So I'm just going to bring in some green inks for a minute. My desk is absolute chaos. If I show you in a minute, you'll laugh at me because I'm never messy, am I? Bring in a green brush. Let's have a light green brush. Hang on a minute. There we go. A light green brush, and we'll have a dark green brush. Let's see where it takes us. And then you don't have to move this underneath anymore because that's always going to be in the same position. Your stencil would just be changed to number 2, number 3, number 4 and onwards. So let's start with the green. Now I'm going to start with the light green. It's lifting simply because the paper's not flat, okay? So don't worry about that. So you can do yours however you want, but I just like doing it like this because I find it easier. So we're going to come straight in with the ink all over. And we'll go on our petals. Now, of course, remember, because we are using embossing powder, it's going to resist this. So we can give it a little kind of clean off afterwards, and it will look really, really cool. So there we go. Next layer coming very quickly. So here's your first one. And we'll come down here, just get that flower done or the leaf done. And then we'll move on to a different green. But I'm using like one of my stencil brushes. Oh, Lily's coming in. Use one of my stencil brushes for this. But you can see straight away, look at that, it's coloured that in for you. Just easy peasy. So all it is a case of setting your situation up, if you like, and making sure everything lines up. So I know now that that's going to fit. That's going to fit great on there. Mine isn't actually perfect, but because I'm trying to keep my head out the camera, but it's not too bad. I could have done with going over a little bit at the top there, moving over just a touch, but I didn't. But it's not too bad at all. So we're now going to come in with a Hopper Emerald, which is one of Paola's colours. Come down here, colour this in over here. And literally, you're going to go over the green you've already been onto. So again, it's that light to dark, building it up. And then this one over here, this is the one I think I've not lined up perfectly. But, you know, you're going to, I'll show you what not to do, basically. And then we're going to bring in that Hopper Emerald over here, filling these bits down here like so, and lift up. Yeah, it's the tiniest bit off, but that's me. That's just me not lining it up very well. So that's 2. And now we're going to come in with 3, which is more of your like florally elements. So I'm going to move away from the greens for now. I'll keep them to one side, and we're going to bring in a different colour. And I think we're going to go pinks, but I think we're going to take it easy, and we're going to do pinks and purples. So purples, we're going to go with a sweet violet, and I think we're going to go with shocking pink. So let's bring in some super bright, vibrant colours into this. So pink brush and a purple brush. And then I'm going to start around the edge. So you can look at some of the samples. Let me bring in, so I'm just trying to find a good example. Yeah, this one's quite good. So if you look here, you can see, you know, the base and the area around the edge is quite light. And then as you get onto the next layers, you can get darker and darker. So just follow the packaging is what I would say is the easiest thing to do. So now I'm going to come in with that shocking pink, and we're going to go all the way around the edge. Now this, for me, it's quite bright, but that's fine because we're going to build this up and around here. But like I say, make sure yours is in the right position and then tape it down, because sometimes things do move. But obviously, where we're building colour up, you need to remember, like the centre of the flowers, keep it as light as you can towards the centre if you want to build that up, okay? If you want to have like quite a bright yellow in the middle. I'm not fussed about that. That's not what I'm looking for. And let's go to stencil 4. And then we're coming here. And this is where I'm going to go with the purple, but I'm not going to go dark in the centre with the purple. So this is sweet violet. Excuse me. And I might dab off a little bit in the lid. Yeah, that's a good call, Lisa. And then we're going to come over to the little elements. Okay, pick up some of that ink. We're going to come around here on this one. You cannot get this wrong. I promise you, you really can't. And then we're going to come around lightly on the main focus of the flower in the middle. But we can still build it up, but let's do it gently. Let's not go in too heavy-handed, because you can't take it away. Once it's on, you can't take it away. I quite like where it's going at the moment. So I'm going to leave that like so. Oh, this is looking so good. So good. Can you see this? I hope it's coming across okay. And then stencil number 5. This is more detail. So this is where I can decide, okay, well, I want that purple a bit darker now, and I can do that. And then I want that piece up there a bit darker. So look at that, bring that in much heavier, no dabbing off. Lily, you keep it on the comments for me, just in case there's anybody who's asking anything that I haven't answered. Very, very easy. Look at that, looking so good. And then we're going to come back to number 6. So now you can see this gives you a lot of the detail, sticking with the purple around the edge of that pink, just along here. Now, of course, you can be more delicate with your colours, but for me, so you can see everything live, I just want to go in a bit heavier, just so you can see it properly. So I'm going to keep that little bit in the middle, a little bit lighter, okay? And then we're going to go around the edge of this one as well. Keep in the middle a little bit lighter. And when I lift that up, can you see some of the shading is starting to appear? I might go back on though, because I feel that some of the shading could have been a little bit heavy around here. Just a bit heavier. And I lift that up now. Happier with that. And then we've got stencil 7. Now stencil 7, oh, I think have I missed some bits? Have I missed bits? No, I haven't. I thought I'd missed some bits there. Stencil 7 covers that middle. So before we do anything, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this away, and I'm going to bring in a brown, and we're going to go with tree bark, my new favourite brown in the world. Love this colour. But I'm also going to bring in white. So let me bring my opaque white in. So what I want you to do now is take a nice clean brush, and in the middle here, oh no, that's not the right brush, that's my glue brush. In the middle here, we're going to place some of that white, okay? When I put the stencil over, you'll see where I mean, just in here, and I'm going to almost like paint it on. And we'll leave that to sit. And here in the middle as well. And we'll leave that to sit. And we'll do our brown. And the reason we're doing this is because it's opaque white, yes, it will pick up some of the purple underneath, but it will mute that white and give us the ability to add a little bit of maybe yellow or a lighter colour into that centre. So let me now go with the tree bark. And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dab off, and then I'm going to come in with that colour. Look at that, that's beautiful. I can take some of that, and now I can use that. And down here, that tree bark, just there, like so. Looks great. Now you could do a gold on there if you want to, that would look super cool. I'm not going to do that, but you could do that if you want. So now what I need is a yellow. So we'll come back in with that. Where was the yellow I used for Paola's? Where did I put that? Did I put that somewhere? Albazoka, that's it. I put it in the wrong slot. So I'm going to come in with that yellow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into the middle. Now, it's not going to be a vibrant yellow because I've got the purple underneath. But I know I can tap it and I can get at least a hint of yellow coming through. All right. Now, obviously, that's very wet because I wanted it to be. But it just is going to take away some of that kind of heavy colour. I lift that up. Can you see what I mean? So you've now managed to get a kind of centre if you want the centre. So what I'll do is I will take this off. I want to just give that the very quickest blast because I want to kind of buff it. So I just do this. I'm going to literally in that centre. I don't want to dull my embossing. Just in that centre. I think it's dry. Let me have a look. Almost certain, but let's just make sure. Okay. So now we've done that, we can take away the ultimate. Yeah, take away the ultimate. I was thinking, do I need that again? Am I taking it away for the wrong reason? And stencils, I will give them a clean after, as you know. And we'll pop those to one side. Now, let me get rid of my stamping tool as well, because I've got stuff going on everywhere here, haven't I? So now what I can do is bring this in. I've got a little bit of tape on there. It doesn't really matter, but let's get rid of that. And then we bring in our cloth. And what you can do now is you can now buff up all that embossing. So I'm avoiding that bit in the middle for now until I need to, give it a chance to dry. And then we're going to go all the way around the edge. Let that dry, and I'm going to come into that middle bit. I want to try and be really careful. There we are. It's not affected anything else. That's great. So now we've got this beautiful, you see that everywhere, looks super cool. It looks like you foiled it, doesn't it? So use your embossing powders to line it up. What do you think? Do you like it? Am I planning to do any demo days with Hobbycraft stores? I don't know. I mean, they did talk about me doing that, kind of more my neck of the woods, I think. But that's kind of all in the plans. But as soon as I know anything, I will keep you all posted. So let's bring in the dye. So the colours that I've used are probably not necessarily colours you would all normally choose. Now, I wouldn't always necessarily go for that bright pink and the purple together. I just think let's be a bit different. I'm going to grab that dye and we'll line that up. Look, it simply goes like so. Really easy to do. There's no issue with lining that up. Not difficult at all. I bring in the tape again and I will tape it down. If you are just doing inking, make sure your ink is dry before you put your tape on for when it goes through your die cutting machine. If not, you're going to pull up some of that ink, and we don't want you to do that. So let's, looks stunning with the gold powder. Honestly, I've fallen back in love with embossing powders. I can't tell you, Lorraine. I genuinely want to use them on everything, and I know I shouldn't. But I really, really am enjoying the embossing powder. I don't know why I left it. Well, I do know why I left it so long, but I'm glad the situation is different now and I can get my hands on them. Right, so let's check that's all going to be okay when we lay that down. Yeah, that's going to be great. Now, obviously, you're going to take more time. I know the shine is brilliant, isn't it? It does look so good. So remember, emboss, use those powders, get the powders out. And that was the radiant gold I used. But you can use your inks and then use the clear powder, or the white would look stunning as well. Oh, no. Lisa, just bear with, that moved. That moved. And I'm gonna, if I mess that up, I will really have the hump. And Lily knows, wouldn't I have the hump, Lily? You're not listening to me, are you? No, she's paying no attention to me whatsoever. Nothing unusual there. Don't worry about the cracking, always cracks. Bring that out now. Oh, it's going to look great. So there, oh, look at that. So there is your element. If you're going to do your stenciling, looks like message being deleted. Obviously, that was talking about Hobbycraft. You can talk about Hobbycraft as much as you like, whoever you are. Can't see your name. Shaz Low. What's your real name, Shaz? Or like your full name? Are you in the group? I can honestly tell you that I'm going into stores, so there we go. Right, let's have a look at the die. Where's the die? I want that. Oh, no, I've got it in my hand, haven't I? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a drop shadow die and show you how that looks, because that actually is going to set this off quite nicely. So that's not quite wide enough. I was hoping to get away with one of those, but I'm not going to be able to. Let's bring in, yeah, piece like that, and then we'll cut this out. Pam, I have to have this. Where can I get it? Pam, are you in the UK? If you're in the UK, go to our website, which is www.lisahortoncrafts.co.uk. Rebecca, if you're there, sweetheart, could you put me a link in? That would be really cool. Or Hannah or Paola or anybody. Thank you. Sorry? Could the Friday Night Live category on our website. Oh, Lily's going to do it for me. Yeah, you'll be able to get it there tonight. All the elements will be available. They're all individual. You're in Merseyside. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just get Lily, my daughter's going to put the link into Facebook for you. I'm not. Is it in the Facebook? In YouTube. Is it Facebook? Pam's on Facebook. I don't know. It will be either on. It'll probably be on my page, but Lily will put a link on Facebook as well. But if you join my group as well, if you're not in the group, it's called Crafting with Lisa Horton Crafts as well. Come and join us in there, Pam. Honestly, so much inspiration as well. So look now, what you can do is like a cool drop shadow, like so. Look at that. That's going to look great as well, isn't it? How wonderful. How wonderful. So that's your first bit, if you like. So that is your stenciling and your stamping. All right. So the next bit, let's talk about the die cutting. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how to do it with die cutting. And we're going to use this element as kind of our base, if you like, but it will all become crystal clear. So let's bring back in a piece of card. And I'm going to turn it like that. Let's get rid of them silly little scissors. I love them, but they're too small for what I'm doing. Let's get these big boys out. Oh, I love a drop shadow. I love a drop shadow as well. Drop shadow like makes everything look epically gorgeous. So I'm going to show you how we use the dyes with the inks, but not using it with the stencils. That makes sense? I think it makes sense. I think it does make sense. But again, I'll do a pre-record for you for next Friday, and then we'll be back to normal after that. But we'll get a pre-record done so you can see exactly what options there are for these. I actually think Claire Newcomb has done a pre-record for Tuesday because she's on her Holly Hobbs. I'll do this a few times because I want it to pop out really easily, especially as I don't want to be standing here popping all the bits out. Let's lift that. Oh yeah, it's come out already, look. So there we go. This is your die. So this is your detail die. Now, let me bring my bin over. Bring the bin over. And I'm going to bring you back to camera so you can actually see what I'm doing. So I'm going to take all the bits and I'm going to chuck them in my bin. I've actually got like a kitchen bin down here. And then I'm going to tap die. Dawn Wheeler taught me this. Don't put your die face down. Put your die face up. Give it a tap. I used to do it face down. You don't damage your die. And then that literally pops out. So if I do that way, you can see that there. Right. So all the bits have come out the die because I run it back 2 or 3 times. But let me show you some other bits as well. Now let's go back to camera 4. I told you to be busy, didn't I? It's 7:45 already. So I'm going to just show you. I will finish at 8, definitely, but I am going to run through all of this with you because I think it's really important that you see it. Okay, so, and I want to run through the embossing folder as well because I promised you that too, didn't I? So honestly, this opens up so many opportunities. I just need more hours in the day to share with you. I'm going to ask you something about the live on Friday next week as well. Right, so now we've got that detail die. You could, if you wanted to, pretend we haven't embossed this, pretend we've just stenciled this. You can then take your die and pop that over the top. See that? Oh, my days. So if I lift that up and show you, you can do all your stenciling. Just going to try and line that up. There we go. And you can lay it like so. So you can use it like that as well. All right. Now, the other thing you can do with this, which is what I love, pop this one to one side now. We can now bring in the other dies and we'll use a piece of white card. And I'm going to bring in just 2 of them. So I'm going to bring in this big one here, the big flower, and we'll bring in the next size down flower. And we will pop that, like so. And then we'll run these through. We'll pop that there like that. And I'm going to run that down here. Run those through. And this is where, if you don't want to, sorry, too close to the edge, Lisa, too close. Do you remember I did this before? Bear with me. This is one thing with your Spellbinders machine. Bring it down. Bring it down. And then put your plate on. There we go. That's going to be much better. Bring that through now. So that's going to go through now. Do you see what I mean? Don't have it too close to the edge because sometimes it's hard to bite. And then what you're going to get when you open this, you're going to get your dies. Just cut your outline outside edge. It will give you a little bit of detail. So you'll get your kind of, I want to say my lighting's so bright in here, like I said, but you might see that you've got that little bit of embossed detail. So if you want to line up your stencils, you absolutely can do that. We've got these 2. So these will actually work for your flower. And I'll show you what I mean by that. But what I need to do is make sure I line it up properly. So let's move these out of the way for now. So here's our piece of artwork. All right. So this is our great, cool element. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to bring in a piece of card. And I'm not going to bother doing it on the tacky mat or anything like that. I'm just going to get my inks. And I'm going to take them. And this is the same colours as we used earlier. I'm going to put the yellow. And I'm going to grab the ink. And I'm going to be just really random with this ink over here. And I'm going to highlight, or it will highlight those areas that are kind of debossed, if you like. If you want them to stand out a bit more, put a rubber mat in and do your usual kind of debossing. I'm not too stressed about it. I'm just going to be random like this and have a little background. And then I'm going to bring in the pink, which, where have I put it? Right at the bottom. Bring in that shocking pink. And then we can go all over. And don't stress with your ink where it goes. Just enjoy popping the ink down. And then you can see I'm absolutely not taking any care. It's all mixing and matching and blending in. You can probably see some of the lines popping through from the deboss. And then I'm going to bring in a blue, right? I'm going to bring in a blue. Now this, I'm going to bring in the, my favourite. I'm going to bring in my Surf's Up. Look at, with these brushes. Glorious. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the blue and I'm going to take off nearly all of the blue. Nearly all of it. Pop it down here. And I'm going to come in random areas with a bit of blue. And you'll see how it changes it. Look at that. Now you're probably thinking, why did she mess it up? No, I haven't messed it. I promise. When we pop this on the card, you'll see how it looks very cool. So let me pop my ink. While I'm doing that, let me just pop my inks back so you can see what I'm doing. I don't want you to think I'm messing around and you can't see what's going on. So let's bring the yellow back in there. Pop the green in. Where's the green go? Don't know where the green goes. Let's get the woodland moss. Yeah, I've made a hot mess of this, so I don't know where they're all meant to be. Let me move that one up here. And then I'll put the purple in there and the brown will be over here. Sort of in the right place, roughly. Okay, so let's bring you back. Look at my hair now. Feel like that's better. So what we're going to do now is move all these bits out of the way. Take those. Let's turn this bit of paper over now. Bring that over. So now we've got our artwork. And what you can do is line this up. So I take the large one and I have a look, right? And I just sit this down and then I rotate this, okay? So what you can have a look for is how it sits. Now, I've just pretty much lined that up already. Look at that. So that sits underneath your artwork. So you've kind of got the ability to do that, right? Or we can glue that one on. Or you can then, which is what we're going to do very quickly, bearing in mind the time, we're going to take that and we're going to pop some glue on the back. And then we're going to glue that bit. Hang on a minute. Find my glue. My glue. Fruit salad sweets. It is fruit salad sweets, isn't it? And then pop this down like so. Come on, you little monkey. Turn that back over. Make sure I've lined that back up. And then you've got your beautiful artwork behind. So you can leave it like that if you want, and that will look stunning on a card. Now, obviously, this is black. If this was like white, you could, can you see what I mean? What you could do, you could layer that onto the top there. Obviously, it won't look right on the white, on the black, but you might see what I mean if I kind of hold it on this one. Do you see what I mean? So you can change it up if you want to. But now we can take this one, and if we want to, we can pop that over the top because it fits like so. Yeah. And then we'll cut this again quickly, Lisa, quickly. And you can cut out, you could cut out the whole thing if you want, or you could just cut the middle piece out. Now I'm going to cut the whole thing if it fits on the card. Let me see if I've got the room. Oh no, I'll have to get another piece out. Let me get another large piece. If we're going to do it, let's do it properly. Let me show you properly. For the sake of 5 minutes, guys, I think it's absolutely worth it. There we go. And we'll run that one through again. Hopefully you're all like helping each other with the questions, because I literally have lost track completely of what on earth is going on. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to show you how to use these goodies. So let's do that. That's the most important thing. What I will say is Friday night, as I said, I'm away. Please comment if you would like me to do a live on Thursday instead. And for those of you who can't make it, I will play it out again on the Friday. I can absolutely do that. But if you're happy to wait till Friday and watch a pre-record, I'm more than happy to do that as well. And then I'm going to go off camera. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to dip it in my bin and get all the bits off. There we go. There we are. So let me know, do you want me to come in on Thursday and do a live with you? Or do you want me to do pre-record on Friday? But if I'm in on Thursday, I'll show the pre-record. I will show Thursday's show again on Friday, if that makes sense. So look, so now what we can do is we can pop this down like so, glue that on. Oh no, glue it on there. That would be the better way to do it, Lisa. Glue that down like so. There we are. And then take this one and we'll put a few foam pads in the middle. Yes, I am going to. Yes, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to rush this. I'm not going to rush it. Yes, to live on Thursday. Okay, we'll do Thursday and then we'll play it out again on Friday. So those of you who miss Thursday can see me on Friday. I don't expect to have as many people there simply because some people won't be expecting me, will they? But that's fine. The people who are here tonight will know. Right, so a little bit of take the little square there. And we'll pop this on the back of this one. Now, what you could do, which would look really, really nice, is if you use your embossing powders and you make this one gold. Oh my days, that look stunning sitting on the top. And then we take this and we literally decoupage this over the top, right? That's going to look great. Now, you could do this in as many different colours as you want. And that will sit like so. Can you see that? Can you see how cool that looks? And then when you pop it onto your cards, it's going to look great. Final thing to do with that one is give us an outside edge. Let's do that. Now, I am going to do it white, whereas normally I would say to you, go and get some inky card. Get a bit of inky background and do it like that. I don't think I have one handy, so I'm gonna literally do it with white card. So cut that one out last, and then I will cut the embossing folder out and we'll have a look at that as well. Right, bring this up. It's so cool, isn't it? It's such a really good set. Right, so I'm going to run that through just so you can see. I haven't had a chance to cut the frame out. That's the only thing, but we can do that Thursday. We'll do a proper card with all the bits we've got. And yeah, I think that would be the best way forward, I think. So I'm going to move this over here. Let's move these plates out of the way because I need to keep that one out and I need to keep those two out because I need to do my embossing, otherwise I will forget. But for now, let me just show you. Let's bring in this card. I got so much going on here, it's ridiculous. So what I would say now, take this that way and we'll lay that on there. Look at that. I mean, look at that. Look at that. How bloody brilliant is that? Just saying, just saying. Hello, Debbie McManus. Oh, Debbie. I just twigged then. How are you, my lovely? Lovely to see you here. There's some faces and all sorts of people here that I didn't expect it tonight, which is great. Now look, you can see like this one and this one are empty, but you've got the dies to do it if you want to, okay? If you really want to. And then you've got the die to go in the middle if you want to put a different thingy on the top. Just take your scoreboard, score down the middle. I'm going to come in here, do my 5.5. Now, this is going to be a little bit bigger than the card now, but I don't really care. I do quite like it offset, so that sits super nice. And then pop that one back. And then this one, open it out. We can now line that up on here. Oh man, look at this. Hello, Rainey from New Zealand. Nice to see you, Rainey. What's the time? It's silly o'clock, isn't it, for you, I think? Let's just do that. Pop this on so you've got an idea. Now, obviously, you can do this. You can spend way more time than I have and make it look stunning. But pop a little sentiment on there. And how cool is that going to look? So there's your, look at that. Look at that. So if I turn it over and show you the back, and we do that, and I just show you, I've scored my card wrong and everything. That. So you could do it that way if you wanted to. Very pretty and very simple. And then this side you've got, so I've not glued it down properly, but you've got that decoupage look with all those layers. Sarah and Kendi, what time are you thinking Thursday? Same time as always, 6:30, just so everybody doesn't get confused. 6:30 Thursday, and then I'll replay it out 6:30 Friday. I've just taken the wrong bit off my glue, Lisa. And then finally, let's run that embossing folder through just to show you, and then I will let you all go and have an evening. I did tell you, not that it'd be frantic, I did tell you that it would be super busy and I might run over tonight. So apologies for that, but I think it was worth it, don't you? Just to see everything. Now let me bring in some cardstock to show you the embossing. There's a piece of white here. So I'll pop all those away in a minute. Let me just cut this up. I'm actually going to turn that around and I'm going to do it properly. I'm not going to be just tearing it. I'm going to go... Let's get the folder out and see how big we need it. Remember, cut your card the size of your folder. Let's go around there. So we know that's going to fit perfectly. It's going to be smaller, but I don't care about that. I just want you to see all that detail. So let's pop that in here. Now, if you get any cracking, mist it with water, as always. But this is going to look great. And maybe on Thursday, if I get a chance, I might be able to get a bit of wax on it as well. And we'll do one in black. So pop that down like so. Pop that on. That's what I like to do. Bring this one in. Wow, you've all stuck with me tonight. Thank you so much. Here we go. Oh, Joe, you'd sit and watch me for longer. I'd love to stay longer. However, they lily-dowed me in a chicken madras, Bombay potatoes, pilau rice, and 2 poppadoms. But actually, she has to get 3 because it takes it over the limit for free delivery. Just saying. Look at that. In depth into my life. This is a 3D embossing folder. Yes, it is, Linda Baisley. Yes, it is. So let me bring you in, you little beauty. Okay, so there's your embossing folder. But as I said, your flower is bigger, all right? So when you pop this around, let me see where the rosy bit is. Look, it is not going to fit. You can try, but it isn't designed to fit. You're going to pick up other bits, all right? This was to give you the different options, all right? But if you want to play around, feel free to play around. But honestly, you could decoupage some of these flowers over the top and have that. You know what we just did with the flower in the middle. You could do that with this if you wanted to and pop it over the top, but that is your 3D embossing folder. It's so stunning. It's so stunning. And there's your deboss. So hopefully I've given you a bit of inspiration. Oh, my back hurts. I need to lie down. I've got my slippers on still. Meant to take them off and put my Crocs on. But anyway, so I am going to love you and leave you there. It is 8:05. I've never stayed this long before. Hope you enjoyed it. There is a QR code there if you want to shop. If not, go to lisahortoncrafts.co.uk and you can go and look in the Friday Night Live category and you'll see all the items there. I use the Wow powders. I use the Wow heat tool. I use the beautiful inks as well. So go and do a little bit of shopping if you wish to. I will be back next week, Thursday, 6:30, but I will play it out on Friday as well, so you do not miss out. So thank you for joining me tonight. Any questions, post them in the group, Crafting with Lisa Horton Crafts official, and there are plenty of the teamies there who can help you out while I go and have my curry. So have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you for sticking with me, and I will see you all next week. Have a good weekend. See you later. Bye.